This is the mandala, which is a Buddhist kind of religious symbol that was at the Manor, and we're putting it here so that it gets the same kind of magical thing there. And the trouble was that the only thing I could copy it from, because I lost the picture that I used when I made the Manor one, was the Manor brochure, and there's only one in existence, and the photograph doesn't actually show the whole mandala, so there's two symbols missing, there's two mantras or syllables, these things here. And so there's meant to be 4 syllables, and the one in the middle, and it's a Sanskrit, ancient Sanskrit mantra that means the path to creative something or another, vision. And so I've got to track down the other 2 symbols. So I'm in the middle of that at the moment, but meanwhile I'm just filling in all the rest of it so that we can actually start. But I can't seal. You see, I've left a gap there and a gap there and a gap there in all the circles, because you can't seal the whole thing up without having all the symbols in it and the suitable invocations done before. You have to get, naked virgins and chicken's blood and all that stuff. Not really, I'm only kidding about the chicken's blood. The naked virgins is true, but the chicken's blood isn't. And it makes all the difference, because it's, your path to creative vision, isn't it? That's what it's all about. This is a Tibetan mandala, which was on the floor, on the drum riser at the Manor, so we've got to have it to match up. It's part of an ancient Sanskrit language, and all these symbols mean they're part of the Om Mani Padme Hum sort of Buddhist thing. And this particular bunch of symbols means the path to creative vision. The trouble is, I copied this from the Manor brochure because there aren't any photos of it. And 2 of the symbols are out of the shot of the photograph, so I'm in the middle of a desperate hunt for the book that I got the original mandala from at the moment. And I'm hoping that we can get that before we've got too far, because the trouble is you can't, until all the symbols are in the thing, you can't close the circles, because the circles have got to be left open to stop evil spirits getting in. So when all the symbols are painted in, then we have a ritual slaying of chickens and raping of virgins, and then we can close the circle to the good of the creative vision and that. I didn't mean it about the chickens. I meant it about the virgins, but not the chickens. Well, with any luck. I don't know if there's any... Of course, the main thing about the Manor was it had that... Oh, I see. Well, you don't have to clap it again. No, all right. The main thing about the Manor was that it had that kind of atmosphere that was totally un-studio-like. So we've knocked out the floor to get the height. So then there's the cartwheel. There's this great big cartwheel that was hanging right in the middle. Now, I found one that we can get restored. They're hard to find cartwheels nowadays. And then there was this mandala shape that was on the floor. It was some kind of Tibetan thing. Something about the path to creative vision, I think it was. Now these things, see how Michael, when he says he wants the same atmosphere, it sounds like it's kind of a bit posy, but in fact there's an amazing amount of difference to the way somebody thinks if they're in the right place, you know. So you've got to get all these things right, and it won't be difficult, I don't think, to get the feel of it. All the walls were they had this kind of cloud effect round in green against yellow or magnolia, and then we have a great big beam across here. I feel like Rolf Harris on the old, what's it, that, you know, where he does cartoons. That big beam with a great big cartwheel hanging down. And then we've got to worry about the acoustics. I'm not too well. I think there's enough volume in the place for the acoustics to be good. And as long as it ends up with the same feel, I mean, it can't be exactly the same because the room's the wrong shape. It's not quite the same size, but I think it'll be a pretty good approximation. The volume's not far off the same. You get all the colours right. I should be able to find the old Manor brochure somewhere, I think. That'll help. And just get all the effects of it so that it feels that same kind of slightly gloomy depression kind of thing. It was very depressive initially, but it got you away from reality. Once you got in the studio, there was no way that you could relate to what was going on outside. You're in a completely different place altogether, and I think that's probably what's going to make the difference to poor old Michael when he comes to have to top his masterwork, which he's got to do. Yeah, I think it'll be alright like that.
And cut.
Oh, right. Are we going?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have to have acoustically one end because it's a big volume in there. Once this floor's out, so we need a live end and a dead end. So we'll probably, if this end with all these curtains in would end up being carpeted and lots of soft surfaces all around the wall to make this end really acoustically dead. Then there's these things here, which we had some at the Manor. They're called Helmholtz resonators, and they absorb sound at certain frequencies. At the Manor we needed quite a few, but I've got a feeling because the volume of Mike's place isn't quite as much, we'll probably not need as many, but we'll probably need some. So I think if that end's the dead end, we get all the old expensive velvet curtains dangling everywhere. And then this end would be the floor that we've got there already, which is a wooden floor. Because this will be carpeted. All right, can you see it now? For fuck's sake. Right. So this, keep your head back. This end will be... Okay. Okay, well this end will be the live end with the wooden floor. And then we've got to get our mandala in there. The old Tibetan symbol of creative what's name. And I'm not sure where, I know they haven't got the one that was at the Manor, so we'll have to find the old Manor brochure and copy it off that, because I don't know where the book that I got it from is certainly not around now. And then the cartwheel will be there. I found this amazing wheelwright in Hemel Hempstead. He must be the last wheelwright in the world. He's about 170 years old, and he still makes cartwheels for all the fairground stuff. And there's no apprenticeships, apprenticeships. So he's the last one. Once he's gone, there won't be any more wheelwrights, so he's making this beautiful wheel for us. At least it's an old wheel, but he's refurbishing, putting a new tyre on. And we'll hang that up there. Slightly more strongly, I should think, than the one at the Manor, because that fell down and nearly killed Vivian Stanchel once. In the middle of a Bonzo Dog Doodah band album. The poor bugger nearly got crowned with it, and it weighed about 500 weight. So we don't want to do that to young Michael.